on our Free Thinking Thursday today. Free Thinking Thursday is just basically an array of topics that I'm just thinking about. There's nothing formatted or anything else like that. It's just free thoughts about certain subjects. So, with that being said, there is a lot of buzz concerning the WNBA and, of course, the controversy between Angel Reese and, excuse me, um, I was going to say Caitlyn Jenner. That is so wrong. Caitlin Clark. Um, okay, so of course, a few days ago, the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky. It looks as though, and I'm not a basketball aficionado, so please, don't tear me up too bad in the comments. Um, but from the way that it actually sounds, or looks, the Indiana Fever actually have a pretty good basketball team, and unfortunately, the Chicago Sky, not so much. Um, but the while the actual story about the game should have been how the Indiana Fever actually pretty much dominated the Chicago Sky. The headlines were dominated with, of course, another encounter between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark gave a pretty significant foul to Angel Reese as she was going up for a layup. And I think once Angel kind of saw who it was, she reacted, and she kind of reacted in a very strong way. Of course, there were many people, including Robert Griffin III, that had much to say about it. Um, to be quite honest, he does make some valid points about another WNBA player actually clotheslining Angel Reese and she not react the same way. However, what I do find problematic is him actually having his wife in the background who is Caucasian and he is openly mocking black women. Um, that part, I think that part needs to actually be corrected. Oh, hey, baby man, what's happening, brother? Um, now, um, it's one thing to actually just criticize someone's actions and trying to hold them accountable. It's quite the other when you're actually mocking people that really look like you in mixed company, quite literally. Um, Hello, Sukana. I'm doing all right, man. I hope you are too. Bay man. All right, I'm doing well, Sukana. Thank you. I hope you're doing well too. Um, but yeah, I just don't think that it was a good look. It quite literally was not a good look. Having someone else of another race in the background mocking your own race, um, and to many of the people's points, um, your mother is black. I don't know if you have sisters; they're black. I'm pretty sure that you have female cousins that are black or other family members that are actually black. Um, when you do that, you're actually mocking them too. And I know that you would probably know better than that. Um, you would have to know better than that. I mean, that type of situation you could have done behind closed doors, but let's be honest. Of course, this is an age of clicks and views, and unfortunately for him, it is also the age of F around and find out. Ryan Clark actually took exception. Um, oh, hey, baby man, I'm not sure if I can help with schoolwork. I'm not. I'm not really that great of a tutor. Um, I mean, you could probably tell me what the subject is, and I can see what I could do, but I can't make any guarantees. Um, but at any rate, I just think that Ryan Clark took exception to that, and of course, he brought up the fact that Robert Griffin III was actually just doing this in the company of white women. And um, I'm not sure how to actually feel about that, because one side of it, yes, you want to make sure that you definitely keep kids out of it. Um, I think that for the most part, you should keep spouses out of it. But one part of me is like, you literally brought your wife into this particular situation. So it may be fair game. I'm not for sure um, about leaving her out when you were the one that actually literally included her in. Um, and then, she was kind of participating as well. So yeah, you know what? Screw it, it's fair game. Um, talking about a line has been crossed and all of that. Well, I think that you crossed the line when you insulted a whole group of women that, actually look like you, and you did that in front of somebody of another race. My thing is, when you start mocking your own folks, and you keep doing that over and over again in front of someone that is not of that particular race or ethnicity or culture, they become comfortable with that, and then it just kind of spills over into something else. It's kind of like saying the N word in front of people of other races. If you keep saying that in front of them, they're going to feel comfortable hearing it, and then once they feel comfortable hearing it, eventually they're going to be comfortable saying it. So if you don't want that type of reaction or that type of backlash based off of that, what I would probably suggest is that you not do that in front of someone that doesn't look like you. Okay, yeah, baby man, I am horrible at math. Um, unless it's like math with money or something like that. I'm not sure how helpful I would be. Um, but I mean, there are several tutoring programs that could actually help online. And just would probably have to research something and try and see if you can get help from there. But I appreciate you trusting me enough to try and ask me that. Thank you, Bayman. Um, but yeah, I just don't think that if you don't want someone reacting or getting comfortable using what I would refer to as just language with racial undertones on it. Just don't do it in front of people that are not of that are not of your race, ethnicity, or culture. Um, that's how problems actually arise. Um, Now I'm not saying that people of other races, ethnicities, or cultures aren't welcome in ours. I'm saying that if you don't want those particular sets of problems, then you need to monitor how you're moving. Um, but I think I've probably spent enough time just kind of discussing that particular thing, because what it's going to wind up delving into is like basically basically race issues and things of that nature. And I'd prefer not to go down that rabbit hole. Um, what I will just kind of go over is this. Um, I applaud Ryan Clark for coming to the defense and coming to the aid of Black women. I think that we need to do that a lot more often, publicly, not behind closed doors or, just quote unquote privately. I think that we need to be able to show that we care and value our women, because if we don't, I don't think anyone else will. Um, And I'll just kind of, and in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. Um, Moving on to other sports news. Um, uh, Aaron Rodgers recently went on the Joe Rogan show. The show was probably what, about 3 hours long. I did not watch it. Okay. Um, I not a Joe Rogan is a widely popular podcaster. He's a pretty funny comedian as well. Just kind of not my just not my cup of tea. Um, I have respect for Joe Rogan. There's a little, I don't know, man. Unfortunately, there's just a little racism there, and I can't get with that. Um, so he goes on to talk about basically him still having trouble making a decision on whether or not he's going to play. And then kind of alludes to the fact that someone close to him actually has cancer, and that's probably what is holding up his decision. Okay, now with respect to that, because I've had two uncles die within 6 months of each other from cancer, so I definitely get it. Um, I have personally witnessed my uncle Simon deteriorate into somebody that was unrecognizable, and it was heartbreaking to see that. And then when he died, my other uncle was diagnosed with cancer a few months later, and he was so shaken up by what happened with my uncle Simon that he just decided to let the cancer take him. And they died within 6 months of each other. Excuse me. Um, so I definitely know what that actually feels like. Having to care for someone that is going through chemotherapy. Um, to say the least is it's a debilitating task. Like when someone actually is sick like that, the caretaker is also suffering. The caretaker's primary focus is just making sure that the other person is okay. They sometimes are unable to take care of themselves. They're unable to eat sometimes. They're unable to groom themselves at some points. They are unable to kind of focus and stay on their particular job or duty or whatever the case may be to earn income. It is mentally taxing just watching that particular person deteriorate, and you're trying to hold on to the positive memories of who they were, and that's not what you're seeing in front of you. So I definitely get from a personal aspect how detrimental that can be. Okay, I do. Now, having said that, what I would probably say is if football is not on your mind at this particular point in time, I would urge Aaron Rodgers to please just go ahead and retire. Um, I think that this this particular thing or this particular situation um, clearly is taking precedence over football. So please, um, just go ahead and retire. Focus on taking care of that particular person, and whatever comes of that, I think that he'll probably be more comfortable knowing that he literally did everything he could for that particular person while they were here. Or if they beat the cancer and it goes into remission, that's even better. But at this particular point in time, since football is not a priority, I would just basically tell um, the NFL that you are retiring and that your primary focus is on whomever you're caring for, as opposed to and I'm not gonna accuse him of leading these teams on, but this has to take precedence over football. So please, just retire. Let these teams know that hey, I'm just not in it right now. My mind and my heart is somewhere else. So yeah, I would urge that. Now, as far as my Pittsburgh Steelers go, in reference to that, I have been begging, screaming, and yelling for us to actually move on. I think this has to be an indicator that even if you do get Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to get an Aaron Rodgers that is truly focused on or committed as far as actually just trying to help football teams win games, especially your football team. Um, it's probably going to be a 1 year deal, so there's not going to be any type of significant tie to the organization. You were there just to make sure that you do a good job, and then once you're done, you're done. That type of lack of commitment, I just don't think it's good for the team. And unfortunately, there have been some personality traits that are detrimental to teams, plural, because it did not end well in Green Bay. We all know what happened in New York. And then I, I definitely don't think that this situation would end any differently. Um, and then I understand that people feel like Aaron Rodgers would give us the best chance to win, but you have to remember also that Aaron Rodgers only won 5 games with the New York Jets. I think that Mason Rudolph and Will Howard can easily get that particular win total for you, even with a quote unquote bad season. So I think that it's in the Pittsburgh Steelers' best interest to actually move on from Aaron Rodgers, and I cannot stress that enough. He has shown you that he is not going to commit. He has shown you that he is not prioritizing football as of right now. I don't know what else he needs to show you that he's just not interested. Um, he's not really interested. So it is basically time for the Steelers to move on. Enough of this wait and let's see and all of that. Um, Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of time trying to wait for this particular individual to make a decision, and it's just not right for him or the organization to just keep playing, just keep trying to play this out. It's just not gonna work. Um, I just I just don't see how this is actually going to be beneficial because if he gets here, he's not going to be focused. And again, he's not going to be committed. So, and would you want that on your team? No, you primarily wouldn't. But I get it. The arm talent is still there. He does have a Hall of Fame resume, all of the above. But again, I just don't think that it's actually worth it. So, I think that we should just kind of move on from that as an organization. Now on to boxing news. Um, Caleb Plant is going to be fighting, excuse me, May 31st, along with Jermall Charlo on the same card. I think this is going to set up a fight between the two. I am really excited to see Jermall try to get back in action. Um, I'm really hoping that, speaking of focus and being mentally there, I really hope that Jamal is really focused on this particular fight, that he's preparing himself mentally. I'm not really worried about the physical part. Jamal usually comes in very good shape. Um, I have seen him actually work in the gym. He is a very hard worker when he's working. So the physical part, I'm not so much worried about. It's the mental part that actually gives me concern. And I do want to see him successful. If I'm just very worried that if things actually fall apart for him or something doesn't go his way in the ring, that there may be some sort of mental collapse. And then, of course, the fight with Caleb Plant would be in severe jeopardy. So I'm really hoping that he's locked in up here, and I think the rest would probably follow. Um, Honestly, I don't know if he knocks Cornflake out. Um, huh. I want to say that he definitely can. He physically can knock him out. I just don't know if him being out of the ring so long is going to allow him just to go in there and pretty much dominate Cornflake LaMotta um, into a situation to where he gets a TKO or possibly quite literally puts him to sleep. I don't. We'll have to see. If there is a stoppage, it'll probably be maybe a mid-round stoppage or something like that. Maybe rounds 7 or 8, or 6, 7 or 8. I'll give him that 6, 7 or 8. If he does stop him, uh, the jab does actually look good from the workouts. So does the left hook. So he's hooking behind his jab, which is very fundamentally sound. That part of it is great. But it's a significant difference between hitting a double end bag with quickness and precision than it is actually hitting another well trained human being with those particular punches. So we'll have to see what happens. But I am rooting for Jamal. Waiting on Jermell to resurface as well. I would like to see, first and foremost, if he's still with Coach Derek James. And secondly, whom he would like to fight, and if he's coming back to 154. All of those questions we would like answered, but we'll have to see how that goes. Speaking of people that we haven't seen or heard from in a while, of course, Earl the Truth Spence. We have not heard or seen in a while. I'm very curious um, to see if he will actually come back this summer. Um, he's been out of the ring. It's now going to be for 2 years, and I think something actually has to give. I have been a supporter of Earl Spence Jr. Um, for quite some time. I've actually been a supporter since he went to the Olympics. Um, I just want to see him back in action. That's someone else that I'm a bit concerned about. Yes, the Terrence Crawford loss was a very brutal one. But I need to see him back in there. Um, being out for a year is okay, especially with a devastating loss like that. I think a year is good enough. But I, I actually watched a podcast. It is what it is. And on there is rappers Cameron and Mace. And then Mace actually brought up a very profound point. Um, Mace mentioned that we can't give a timeline on someone else's healing process. Hey, what's happening, Jared? So we can't give a timeline on someone else's healing process. Their time to heal is their time to heal. So maybe, just maybe, Earl Spence's time to heal isn't up yet, and when it is, and he feels comfortable going back in, then he will do so. My concern is that he's been away for quite some time, and I can tell, and I can definitely speak to, hey, boxing is something that you don't want to be away from for too long, um, because there is a definite reacclimation process, and that could be brutal. You have to get back in shape to do what you need to do. You actually have to get back into some type of mental shape to understand what you're doing and what your opponent is doing. And then you could actually lose sight of that and really disappoint yourself if you don't stay on it. So, I'm sure that Earl has actually been in the gym, he's been working, things of that nature. Um, but I would just like to know or understand maybe where he is in his healing process, and if maybe there's a fight in the near future as a result. But his time to heal is his time to heal, and we'll just have to be understanding about that. Same goes for Jermel. Um, I have different thoughts about the Canelo loss. I think honestly, Mel just kind of laid down for Canelo, and that's not like Mel. Um, Mel is very aggressive, very assertive as a fighter. Up until the Canelo situation, I've never known him to give too much respect to any opponent that he's ever faced. But I think that because it was Canelo and he's trying to, quote unquote, get to the bag or whatever, he felt like he had to show Canelo that much respect, and as a result, that honestly messed up his mentality. He was beat before he even got in the ring, as far as the Canelo fight, and I'm not sure if he is going to be the same after. So we'll see. We shall see. But I just yeah, I just want the twins to actually do well, both of them, Jamel and Jamal. I would love to see them back on a card together, and then I would love to see what they kind of do from there as far as like the twilight of their career. Same goes for Earl Spence Jr. Okay, so those were pretty much the topics that I just wanted to go over today. I am needing to, of course, get ready for something else. And thank you for those that actually have tuned in, and those that will catch the replay. Speaking of such, please check out my brother Jared O11 Green. He has a show, Southern Ballers. It usually comes on Sundays on YouTube, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. He also has a very uh, profound show on Saturdays on YouTube, also from a black man's perspective. Very moving and powerful show. Usually comes on 10 a.m. on YouTube Saturdays. So please check that out. My other brother, Coach 67 Sports TV, has an array of shows. He sprinkles those throughout the week. He can be found on all social media platforms. Uh, I particularly watch the YouTube shows, and those are again sprinkled throughout the week. So please check out that content. And then our founder, the General 78 Sports TV, also please check him out. He usually comes on YouTube 10 a.m. Central Standard as well. And then my big brother, Junior the Truth. He has an array of shows: Black Coffee Club, Punch Junkie, um, and then there's another show that he actually has as well. Usually he does mornings, and that's usually around, I would say, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard. And then sometimes he'll have the Punch Junkie shows in the afternoon around 12 noon Central Standard. So yes, please check out his shows as well. Those are primarily on YouTube. He does have his own network. So I'll let him tell you about that when you watch his show. So just wrapping up, please support the LDBC family. I certainly appreciate you all for again tuning in to It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And until the next time I see you,